Well, if you're just joining us now, this is Engine Behind the Power right here on Channel 1 News Hour. I am Rose Gakur. Wilson Mushari is our sign language interpreter. And we have two amazing guests. This is Florence Mithika as well as Dr. Choksey. These are people who have done tremendous works in assisting people in society. I'll leave it to them to tell us more about it. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. Let's begin with you, Dr. Choksey. A lot has been written about you. Great achievements, especially as an eye specialist. And you're among the first, not only in India, but even right here in Kenya. Tell us a little bit about your career as an eye specialist.
As ophthalmologist, I'm an ophthalmologist. Ophthalmologists are actually doctors who first trained to become general doctors, then you specialize in treating the eye conditions. So I passed my post-graduation in 1977, so I'm an eye specialist now for 40 years. And as far as my career has been, it has been really very fulfilling for me, because before I came to Kenya in 1987, I was professor and head of Department of Ophthalmology at Grand Medical College and JJ Hospital in India. When I came to Kenya for 1 year, I was working at Kenyatta National Hospital as an eye specialist. 1989, I became the lecturer at the University of Nairobi. So most of the famous eye specialists of today have been either my students or they were the teachers for the next generation of ophthalmologists that were trained in Kenya. Then during that period when I was working at Kenyatta National Hospital, HIV was coming in a very big way to Africa. So I did a lot of work related to HIV in the eyes. I also was trained in doing the laser treatment for preventing blindness in diabetes. So I started doing the laser treatment in Kenya. And I was the first woman editor-in-chief of East African Journal of Ophthalmology. I became editor-in-chief in 1997, and a position that I kept up to 2006.
All right. Sorry.
And so I got an award in 2007 for outstanding contribution to eye care in East Africa by the three East African countries of Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania ophthalmologists. Yeah.
See, I was actually surprised because, I mean, that's a very decorated resume when it comes to eye care. Do you still practice?
Of course, I do practice.
All right. And of course, I can see Florence right here. And Florence has gained a lot from you in terms of maybe like a life student. What is your experience, working with Dr. Choksey, Florence?
Actually, this is the I'm finishing my second year soon as the program manager for Dr. Choksey Albinism Foundation. And she has taught me a lot. But most of all, loving what you're doing is what I've learned from her, because this cause of albinism, she's really into it. She's so passionate about it, and she's doing it as a mother. Actually, to most of the people with albinism, she's like a biological mother.
Amazing. Of course, now let's get to that bit where you run the foundation, Dr. Choksey Foundation. It's not quite common for people to come up with such foundations, and you appear to be fully dedicated now to this foundation. How do you run it, and what is the vision really?
Actually, a chance encounter with an albino child in 2007 led me to think that the condition of albinism is totally misunderstood in the world. People focused mainly on the skin, the white skin or the blonde hair, without knowing the real disability of the people is with the eyes. So when I realized that in 2007, when I actually started working with people with albinism, 70 to 80% of the children with albinism were thrust into blind schools. A large proportion were being taught in Braille without ever taking them to an eye specialist. So I realized that time that something can be done for these children, and that they needed an urgent opinion of an ophthalmologist. We also realized that in those days there were a lot of misunderstandings about albinism, that it was like they thought it was a curse to the family to have albinism. Then many of the myths that that the bones and body parts, like in Tanzania, a hand of albino sells for $5,000. They sell the bones, they sell the skin. And it's believed that some of these things are even cure for HIV, cancer. And mothers, many of the mothers in that time used to hide their children with albinism. Some used to lock them up in the house and leave them like that. So these children really were like, these were like the voiceless children, you know, something had to be done. So I said, when they were from such poor background, I offered to actually see them for
Something
free.
had to be done.
Something had to be done. And I thought that I could actually do with my experience as an ophthalmologist, because, you know, when somebody looks at a person with albinism, skin and hair is really not that remarkably something to really get shocked about. But what really shocks people is the eyes. These eyes don't have the pigment called melanin, just as it does, melanin is absent in the skin and the hair. So these eyes also do not focus. So all the time you see the eyes got jiggling movements. They've also got a red reflex coming from the eyes. And this much I must tell you, because of the lack of pigment in the eyes, 100% of people with albinism have visual challenges.
All right.
So the real disability is with the eyes.
With the eyes. Let's hear it from Florence, maybe. What is your experience personally, probably even with your eyesight? And maybe how did you coordinate now with Dr. Choksey to probably now address the issue?
Yeah, as she's saying, the biggest challenge we have is the eyes, because for the sun, we can use the sunscreen and protect ourselves and not go out to the sun. The skin actually, it's the most beautiful. Like she says, we are the precious things of Africa. So yeah.
Well.
Yeah, after people, you see in the past people are saying poor things. Now we are
precious things.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So eyes is the biggest challenge, because lack of melanin in the eyes makes us squint, especially in the sunlight. But for Dr. Choksey, as an ophthalmologist, she treats people with albinism for free, and she gives us free prescription photochromatic glasses like these ones, the ones I'm wearing. They're quite expensive, but she gives for free. She sees you for free as an eye specialist, and then she prescribes and gives you the glasses.
All right.
So she has solved the biggest challenge,
which is now the eyesight challenge.
Eyesight, because now it gives us confidence. We can go out, we can look. You see, initially people used to do like this in the sun. Like now it made us more of poor things. Yeah. But now we have confidence, you can walk. Yeah. It's better.
Wow, all right. Probably even when we're still on this topic, Florence, if you could tell us more of the challenges that you do experience. She's talked about some of the stigmas, some of the stereotypes. What do you think are now the challenges that you are facing current times?
Currently, I think the only challenge, because most of it has been solved so far, because with the glasses we all have, education, most of us can access education. So maybe, let's say, the main challenge I see among all people with disability actually is employability problem. There is a huge problem when it comes to employability and entrepreneurship. It's a bit tricky to absorb us, because people still don't appreciate the fact that we can work as much as we have the knowledge. But personally, the physical problems have been solved, because in Kenya is a bit far as compared to other countries in Africa. We are far in the matters of albinism, because now people understand albinism. There is knowledge and awareness about albinism everywhere. So the physical challenge is mostly solved, and some of the people that have really contributed to it, as Dr. Choksey here. Yeah. So
right.
The physical challenge is solved. Now employability and entrepreneurship.
What do you speak to that matter on the issue of employment? What do you tell potential employers?
I think they also need to get deep into the matter and try to understand. Let them not just put people in the brackets of disability, because it's not inability. Especially with people with albinism, it's only on our skin and eyes and hair. Our brains have all the melanin. She says that.
Well, amazing.
All the melanin that is lacking in the hair, the skin, and the eyes, it's all concentrated in the brain. So we're actually very intelligent. Personally, I'm intelligent. And you remember Goldarin Kakuya?
Yes.
Yeah, she's actually one of the children we supported from 2014. Yeah, in our education system.
Wow.
Yeah. So most of it is solved.
All right, thank you so much. And of course, for the viewers, if you don't remember, Golden Kakuya was the top student in the Kenya Primary Certificate of Education, KCP. And let's now get back to you, Dr. Choksey. You have written something about early you know, addressing of issues to do with eyesight and even conditions with the skin of people living with albinism can be solved, you know, bringing the number up to 90%, not to have, you know, maybe like so that they're not referred to as blind. How are you, I mean, what is the success of that right now in the country?
I think when I started the work, I told you that 70 to 80% were in blind schools, but as they started coming to me and I started examining them and giving them glasses, you see, without the prescription glasses, maybe 70 to 80% could still be put in the bracket of legal blindness. But with the glasses, I'm actually seeing that more than 95% of them do not come in the bracket of legal blindness. That means, according to me, 95% of the people with albinism can go to regular schools. Just a little assistance they need in the school, that the words should be enlarged a bit, they should be made to sit in front of the in the classroom, wear their glasses. A little sympathetic attitude from the teachers and the classmates can go a long way. These children are so clever. So Goldalin actually beat one, I am sure you know that she beat 1 million normal children to emerge first in the class. So these children have a lot of potential, a lot of potential. So my observation is that do not label them as blind, and still teaching them in Braille is just absolutely has to stop immediately.
All right then, and maybe back to you, Florence. What can you tell me about your peers? Yeah, what are they into right now? I know you told me you professionally a teacher.
Yeah, I'm a teacher.
Right, but currently serving as a programs manager for the foundation.
Yeah.
Your peers, what do they do? What are they passionate about?
The ones with albinism. Yeah, most of them are into fashion and music. Like most of my classmates in primary, because unfortunately, I studied in a school for the blind. I had not met Dr. Choksey, so my parents took me to a blind school. So I did my primary level education in a blind school. So most of them were people with albinism. Some of them have done music, others have done journalism. There are those who have done arts, the other arts like drama, they're acting. Yeah. So most of them are into fashion and arts.
All right, amazing then. And of course, again, Doctor, I understand that you're a lady who wears many hats. I know you have a passion for writing and a passion for numbers. Let's get to that.
I think growing up in a small town it's called Aurangabad in India, we were exposed to, like, I was staying in a Muslim locality. I'm a Hindu. I was staying in Muslim locality. I was studying in Christian convent schools. And you sort of learn from childhood that, you know, you have to accept the religion of humanity. And that's what I think, and my father, who was a doctor, actually my father and mother during, they came to India after partition of India. So their homeland has gone into the present Pakistan. So actually we are like children of IDPs, you know, they were internally displaced. And my father, being a doctor, he was in small towns, and Aurangabad is where we were brought up. I think from my childhood, I started, you know, numerology was something that just fascinated me. It is like looking at people like with numbers, you know, because when you're born, you don't get a religion or a tribe. God gives you a number.
So
that's
what
your
does
date of birth.
numerology really mean?
Numerology actually is a science of numbers. You know, you can study the characters of a person. You can study the personality of the person. Nomen omen by the name and the date of birth. So these are the two basic things that are required for understanding a person. So if somebody is born, say maybe on the 1st, 10th, 19th or 20th will be number 1 personality, like Bill Gates. People born on 2nd, 11th.
What is a number 1 personality?
Number 1 personality are like the leaders of the world, and they can burn bridges behind, and they can start something new. Lot of courage they have to face challenges, and like the planet is the sun, so like the sun, they shine in life. And this actually tells you that we are just 9 different type of children of God.
Okay.
So I'm actually practicing numerology when I look at these children with albinism as well, because they all have a date of birth and a name, and that's enough for me to say
a date of birth. I think maybe to illustrate, we could do a quick illustration right here. We can use maybe somebody's birth date. Are you comfortable? Could we do it?
Yeah.
All right. So maybe she could interpret it for us.
Yeah.
Your birth date, the year and the month.
I'm born 21st of December, 1989.
So she becomes being born on 21st. She's a number 3 personality. Number 3 personalities have got the power of creation, preservation, and destruction. So it's like these people. Yeah, these people are extremely authoritarian people. They like to control and have authority over the world. It's actually a very lucky number to be born under, because these people are really like complete personalities. That's her personality. Then we get her destiny number by adding 21 to 12. That's the month and the year that she was born. That will be like the destiny number. So you are guided both by your personality number and destiny number. And then you go through a cycle of 9 years. So you have a personal year. So she's born on 21st of December. That is 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 and 2018 adds up to 2. So this is the total, her personal year in a 9-year cycle. She's in her 8th year, which actually signifies money, money, money. So
wow,
maybe,
all right. So we need
maybe,
to
yeah.
follow
So
after the
another,
show.
like next year she'll be in her 9th year, so lots of friends and socially active. Now we are sitting here in 2018, 2020 will be change of destiny for her. She'll start a new cycle. So she'll do something different. We just have to wait and see what happens like that. So it's just a way. And her name, yeah.
All right, and of course, maybe for all the cases that you have probably studied on that, on numerology, has it always been accurate?
It's numerology just gives you a guidance. It's not like that you can pinpoint and say exactly what, because when you're studying a person, there's people who study palmistry, that. So palmistry is there, numerology is there. Our Indian people, there are a lot of people studying astrology. So when you're seeing a personality, actually you have to see from all the aspects.
All perspectives.
And you also have to see really what deeds you have done. Sometimes, it's also like karmas in your past also that will determine what you're doing in this lifetime. So it's a different way of, but numerology does give you a basic guideline, yeah.
Okay, and maybe finally, as we wrap up this conversation, you are a writer and you've written a book on parenting. Tell us about it.
This is the book that I have written because I felt that when whatever I'm doing, people say how do you get that inspiration for doing that? But I feel that parenting is the most important. Maybe you can call it as a profession that people should actually take it very seriously, because as a child, the child really observes the parents. And I learned too, of course, there are some things that I learned from my parents, because from their life I learned that basic, the real behind every success in life is humility, compassion, benevolence, spirituality. From my father, I really learned philanthropy. From my mother, I learned spirituality. And two very important lessons I learned, which I keep on quoting in all my interviews, that my mother actually taught me that holding the ladder for others to climb gives you more happiness than climbing the ladder yourself. My mother used to hold the ladder really. She really put her life into making me an eye specialist, and I can't forget the sacrifices that she made for making me reach where I did. So I feel now that these people call me mom, so I'm their mom holding the ladder. I want all of them to come up really well, and I think they have really come far in the last 10 years that I've observed. Now 14 of them are working in Safaricom, 5 people work in Barclays Bank, there's somebody in President's office, there's
so
somebody,
well.
Now they are getting jobs, there are so many in the teaching profession, so many business, and I think I feel really satisfied that somewhere, maybe getting the right time, reaching me, getting glasses, getting education. My main aim is that I think, what people don't realize, that people just want to give people with albinism sunscreen. But in the basic equation of life, where the basic necessity of food, shelter, and clothes, which are actually basic necessity if the child does not have these three, then giving them, maybe computers, maybe phones, it really doesn't serve the purpose. So first basic, so when I actually take a child for education, which I started from 2012, and we're educating now, my foundation educates almost 80 to 90 children per year these days. So when we started, so education I feel is the basis, is the key that, and I think education will take them very far in life. So these are the things. And the second thing, of course, I learned from my parents is, the one who gives is happier than one who receives. So
the same analogy of the ladder, when you hold it out for people to climb, you're more blessed. All right, then we really thank you again, because we know we can have this discussion for quite a bit right there, but we're really pressed of time. So maybe the final word from Florence?
Yeah, as she has said, I think making others happy makes us more happy. Like for Dr. Choksey, no person with albinism walks in our office and goes away without her needs being fulfilled. She says if someone walks in that office with albinism and they go without their needs being fulfilled, where else are they going to have their needs fulfilled?
Right.
She's the mother. Actually, we call her mama. Everyone calls her mama.
All right.
Yeah, she's a mother to us because, as you know, most of the people with albinism were rejected by their own parents. So she has become a biological mother to some of us.
All right then.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Such great words from these two ladies. We thank you so much. Unfortunately, we have to end this. And remember, that has been Dr. Choksey as well as Florence. And this is Engine Behind the Power. We'll now be paving way for Matters Business with O'Brien Kimani.